In the late 1990s, a company called Luxoflux was hired by Activision to make a vehicle combat game called Vigilante 8, and it came out for the PlayStation and 64. There was a sequel that came out for the Dreamcast, and the Vigilante 8 games were actually kind of cool. Obviously, they were taking a cue from the success of the Twisted Metal franchise, but they were super fun in their own right. They had lots of different crazy characters led by a guy in a big truck named Convoy, which I think was an homage to that old Convoy movie, and it was set in the 70s, just like the spiritual precursor to Vigilante 8 was in Interstate 76. And it was, well-refined vehicle combat gameplay. Obviously, it's going to look very rudimentary right now with lots of triangular polygonal shapes and stuff, but at the time it was pretty damn cool, and it was a great competitor to the Twisted Metal franchise. Gave you something a little bit different, It wasn't necessarily quite as dark and evil and sort of slightly futuristic as the Twisted Metal stuff was. The retro kind of vibe of the design was welcome, and I also liked the sense of humor that the game had, and it was just a sweet playing title. Luxoflux was a good developer. They actually worked on Star Wars Demolition, which kind of played with the same kind of game design concepts but with Star Wars vehicles. Weren't as successful with that, but definitely Vigilante 8 and its sequel were two terrific games that I think are very worthy. Even though they made a sequel and even though there are lots of fans out there, I still think they fly under the radar quite a bit, especially when you compare them to the much bigger success that Twisted Metal has had. But I think Vigilante 8 is absolutely a buried treasure.